Welcome to The Cleaning, a podcast about Apple TV show Silo, and we are covering season 3. My name is Catfish, and with me, as always, is someone who wishes he had been the University of Georgia Bulldogs mascot, and he would have said the whole thing out like that. He wouldn't have said Georgia's mascot. He would have said the University of Georgia Bulldogs mascot.
That's right, Catfish. I would have said hairy dog, which is the mascot you wear, as opposed to Ugga, the cute little real-life English bulldog. Catfish, I'm glad to be with you. Someone who thinks he went on a date with Helen the reporter, but she will immediately correct the record. No, it wasn't a date. Literally, Daniel could be, going back home to Georgia, and he'd be like, "Oh, hello, aunt who took care of me. Yeah, the sister Charlotte's doing poorly, and I went on this bad date." What? My phone just rang. It wasn't a date, Daniel. Ouch. Ouch.
All right, so we're covering season 3, episode Dose. It's all good. Billings investigates a disappearance. Daniel Keene has a run-in with a reporter. Now, Bubba, on this pod, we got our rankings of the episode, as you know. We ask, better in the silo or better in the real world? We break down the episode. We have a judicial bait. We've got our deeply dumb catfish questions, our classic book talk, a silo slam, catfish silo speculation, and a deep dive in the book versus a deep dive in the show. But let's get right to it, Bubba. I'm jumping in front of you today. I'm jumping the line. I am going to give this episode 9.5 out of 10, what I like to call triple W's.
Triple W's?
Yes. That's when you sit down, have a nice talk with someone, and instead you are accosted with Walker's withering words.
Try harder.
Oh, my God. Bubba?
Yeah.
To be off the top, this is very high rating. I originally gave it 8.5, but at the end of the episode, I realized there'd been not 1 second of Sims. Therefore, I had to give it an extra point.
Terrible.
Bubba?
Yeah.
We have the connection. We always talk about when we have stories that are in the past and the future, we always want to see the connections between them. So what do we have? The connection of the drugs and the silos to the past and present. It's all through one family. Daniel, as you were talking about, probably responsible for the silo technology. Charlotte's the one taking the drugs. The intertwining of those stories by themselves enrich both stories. And I am digging the past stuff a lot. And also, now I'm intrigued. I was very down on last week's episode. I was like, oh, this whole amnesia thing. But what is going to make it interesting is we already see she's trying to put the pieces together, but she is going to have to be so sneaky to try to figure out what's going on. She's under the watchful eye of Camille, the computer, and clearly her nurse.
Oh, yeah.
There are also people who have made like a cult of Juliette. And I am hoping, Bubba, that this comes into play either for good or for ill. So I'm expecting that to pay off somewhere. And then we have this situation, Bubba. We're always like, what was the reset? What was the reset? What was the reset? Now we know what the reset is. The reset is we're going to take your forgetting me drugs and we're going to dump it in your water. And everybody who drinks that water is going to forget. That is the silo reset. Bubba.
Yeah.
Emergency situation. We have got to stop this, Bubba. I mean, I don't know whether I've gone from so low to so high in a 2-episode span of anything, Bubba. I am completely on board with this. I'm shocked. I'm shocked how excited I am by everything. So, Bubba,
yeah,
that's what I have to say. We say, who cares what we think? We want to know what you think. So, all right. Well, I mean, you're the co-host, so let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you so much, Catfish. 9.5 out of 10. I am excited that you like this episode so much. You were really down on last week's episode.
Really
so much.
Down.
And so I feel like the podcast needs somebody who's really down on the episode.
Oh, no.
So I am only going to give this episode 7 triple W's out of 10.
Oh, yeah, Walker's withering words.
No. Triple W. That's when you're Billings and you're like, what, whoa, wife? You're a member of the Outsiders. Oh no, big trouble. So
Okay.
7 out of 10.
That's not good, Bubba.
For us, that's not good at all. So I do social media searches because for WPHQ, I want to send posts out that say things like, hey, I just sent out a post yesterday that said, hey, there's going to be this fun silo exhibit outside in the parking lot of San Diego Comic-Con, and it's free to anybody. You don't have to have a pass to go to Comic-Con. So I'm always on social media looking silo, like what is the latest silo news? And I just searched silo earlier this week, and one of the first messages that came up was, Silo, this show can be infuriating to watch. And I went, oh, wow, infuriating to watch. Whoa. And let me say, in this episode, there were times, I'm not sure I was infuriated, but I was just like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. The apex, the climax of this episode is what I always joke, Juliette being given a previously on. Patrick Kennedy's like, hey, remember, you did this, you did this, you did this. Forced amnesia has been a part of the Silo story, the TV show, since the first season. So I'm not upset that we're dealing with amnesia. I just haven't found the execution of the amnesia storyline. It hasn't been compelling TV to me. Think about this. Juliette has been taken by the Outsiders, right? Like she went to meet him. She got away from her deputy. She went to meet him. And now the judicial raiders are coming. That should be a tense moment. You know what I didn't feel? I had no worry that Patrick Kennedy and the Outsiders were going to be caught.
Oh, my God.
I had no fear that Juliette was in trouble. I was like, okay, I knew ahead of time, they're, with this whistling, they'll get away. It'll be delayed another week. In this story, the show has built up such possibly great things for drama. The good guys, and I'm putting good guys in quotes, the Outsiders, they want to go outside the silo, which is terrible. They'll be killed. The bad guys, meaning the algorithm and Camille, they want to, keep people in the silo, which is the right thing. That should be
right.
That should be great drama, but the Outsiders are not close to breaking out and going outside. All they've done so far is steal a helmet and put up a banner. To me, that's not great drama. The show has built a premise where Camille Sims is going to poison all of her friends and most likely her family, her husband and her child with forget-me-now drugs.
Not poison. Well, you know what? We'll get into that later with one of my deeply dumb questions.
That should be great drama, but I didn't feel it at all in this episode. How about this? Does any member of the audience care about what happened to Orla Kent? Like, are you upset that this character we met last week is now missing, Catfish?
That was to the detriment. We meet somebody and then they're missing, and I'm like, why do we have this extra storyline? We have a 2-minute conversation with somebody, and then they were like, oh, they're missing, and we're like, okay, but we barely knew them. That part was not good.
Through 2 episodes, they haven't given me a reason to be invested in that story. Now, I do think, like you do, why am I not lower than 7 out of 10? I do think the Before Time story is good. But even in the Before Time story, like, these haven't been official reveals, but we know it, right? Like, we know that there probably was not a dirty bomb attack on DC, right? It hasn't been revealed yet. But this memory of Doctor has got to be evil, right? Like, they haven't revealed it yet, but I mean, come on. And
they have revealed it. The reporter said that basically he's been experimenting on people who were not able to give their consent.
And so that is a great point, Catfish. That is telling, not showing. Now, maybe they think they were showing because he was saying things like, hey, I'm going to put the drawbridge up so you can't remember anything. And that, to me, that already was telling me, hey, what this guy is doing is really wrong. But then to have reporter Helen tell us that it wasn't just misguided, it was actually evil, experimenting on people without their consent. So I'm 7 out of 10, and this episode did leave me frustrated. I'm so happy you loved it, but Catfish, whose opinion is the most important opinion?
It's the people that listen to this show and then provide us the feedback so that we can read it, because this is what we're doing here. We're having a conversation with you. It's just that, like you're on Mars and we have the conversation, and then after a while, you talk back to us. But we read your feedback. So
We
please,
do.
please, please give us your feedback wherever you listen to the show. You can hit us up at double PHQ on social media to answer any questions, insult the host. My opinion has been insulted many times. I did look through the comments. I actually got a very interesting backhanded compliment today.
Oh no.
And so that'll be fun.
No, no. That's terrible.
Please, and on YouTube, like, subscribe, the whole schmear. Please, we want your voice to be a part of this. And also, you can also, we're trying to do this. We're trying to get this podcast out as soon as possible. So if you've got any thoughts about the show, please tweet at us like right after you watch the show. And then we can read, we read feedback on previous shows, but we also love feedback on the present show.
Heck yeah.
So give that all to us, Bubba. Give it all to us.
Catfish, this episode, we always ask, was it better in this episode to be in the silo, or is it worse being in the silo and you'd rather be in our real world of 2020?
Right. Well, it's the world of the silo, right? It's not just now that we've got the past.
That's a good point.
It could be it's the world of the silo. All right, Bubba, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Well, since you jumped me and gave your awesome review first, I want you to go first in this instance. Let's hear it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just keep going first then. Bubba, I just want to ask you a real question here.
Okay.
So in the silo world, there's
Yeah.
pills that can make you forget bad stuff that you did and bad stuff that happened to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, silo then for sure. No doubt. 110% silo, Bubba.
Way to go, Dr. Jerkoff.
Cernovich.
That is a terrible reason, Catfish. But I
Okay.
agree with you. It is better to be in the world of the silo. You want it? I'll give you.
Okay, what's your reason? Let's hear the good reason.
Do reporters look as lovely as Jessica Henwick in the quote unquote before times in Silo World? Yes.
Sexist.
Do nurses look as cute as evil nurse Amy in the real world? No. Put me in the silo world. Those are two very cute people.
Okay,
excellent. Wouldn't put up with a fool like me. So get me in the silo, and maybe they would.
All right. Well, your reasons were definitely different than my reason for sure.
Listeners, we want to know, do you think it'd be better to live in the silo world or live in our present world? I mean, you could live in one where the U.S. would have a big problems with Iran. Okay, Catfish, where do you want to go to first? Do you want to recap and talk about all the fun things that happened in Silo 18 or go to the real world? What says you?
Let's go to the real world first. Even though I usually like to save the best for last, but I really liked the real world. So let's talk about it. I mean, Daniel is there.
Yep.
He's at his sister's bedside. He's telling her all sorts of information, and she correctly deduces that she didn't like him before.
Right. Do you think he puts a spin on it? Like when we used to say goodbye to each other, you'd flip me the bird and I'd flip you back. And she'd be like, why is this jerk at my bed? Oh, we did it in a fun way. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if she was in charge of the resetting of her memories, if she'd be like, you know what, can we just leave him out? No, Daniel, thank you. No. So Daniel goes to get some coffee with a malfunctioning coffee maker.
Yeah, I want to pause on that, Catfish. This is, I'm not going to Walter Reed with my injured sister. We're going to this fancy place, which we keep hearing costs so much. The coffee maker has been broken for months, we're told, and they still haven't fixed it, and it's spilling out a bit like your sister's brains.
Bubba, here's the thing.
They need a drawbridge on the coffee maker.
They put the forget me juice in the coffee maker. The coffee maker has been broken for 10 years, but as far as everyone else knows, it's only been a couple of weeks.
Oh boy.
They're like, you know what? what do we want to spend the time and money fixing the coffee maker? Or should we just make people forget that it's been broken? That's what they do. So casually, coincidentally, hanging out is our evil Dr. Sirkovich.
Oh, who comes across as nice as can be. I'm going to be soft spoken. I'm going to make it sound like I really care about your problems. But
You already know, Bubba. You
making
already
people
know.
forget their parents. Oh my God, this guy's terrible.
You already know he's evil because of this whole BS. Oh, you're the brother. What a shock. As if I wasn't waiting for you. Yeah, so the medication is installing a drawbridge. Now, he says some very disturbing things. And this is, I'm going to get more into it in one of my deeply dumb catfish questions later. God, well, I don't know how dumb this question is, but I'll get into it later about part of my irritation with how this scene went. Not with how the scene went, but well, okay. Never mind.
No, say it. Are you fed up that Daniel heard all this stuff and he didn't see all the red flags, all the warning lights flashing red?
I mean, not only does he say that we're going to bring that I'm the reason why she doesn't have any memories, and even before he explains why they're doing it, Daniel's like, "Oh, okay." Instead of what the F are you doing?
Yes.
Give her memories back. This is before he even explains we don't want her to deal with her trauma. You know, people deal with trauma. And then at one point, the doctor says, if we leave it on too long, they won't come back. Hey, pal, ixnay on the meds right effing now. But Daniel's like, okay, certain amounts. That was completely, that's just not the way someone would respond.
Well, if the sibling really disliked your current personality, I mean, geesh, we both have siblings. Would your sister do that to Catfish? I mean, holy smokes!
Yeah, that was one thing that stood out as completely. I'm just like, is Daniel slow? Is he not quite getting it? The doctor's like, I took her memories.
Yeah, all of her memories.
All of her memories.
She doesn't remember
you know what?
me. Huh.
As long as we fix it within a certain amount of time, then these memories could come back. But otherwise, she'll be a completely blank slate. My choice.
Whoa, is that crazy? So many. I mean, I don't know therapy. I could be completely wrong. Listeners, correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't the idea of, don't hide from your problems, face them and overcome them? Isn't that what a lot of therapists want you to do, is to come to grips with it? I mean, in Daniel's question is, well, could I lie to her and would she believe it? Now, I love that the evil doctor is like, well, why would you want to do that? But I mean, holy smokes, this guy, how did he get elected? This is crazy.
I mean, I can't reason how people get elected these days, Bubba. But the response was completely unfathomable by her brother.
All right, let's talk about this. You'll need artifacts to bring back old memories. So far, I think the only artifact Daniel could give her is he could say, I brought you some sweet tea. And like suddenly she would snap out of it and go, it's iced tea here, you fool, smack, smack, smack. What other artifact could we have for the sister that could bring her back?
Well, what if he manages to get that University of Georgia Bulldogs mascot outfit?
There you go. That's pretty good. I thought, what if he brought back parts of her plane? Like, hey, here's a bit of your wing, which was destroyed when all your friends were killed.
They don't portray Daniel as the sharpest tool in the shed, but also he doesn't seem like a complete idiot. No. There is no way that someone would say, hey, okay, so you're saying I don't even care if there's a chance she's not going to get him back. If you said that, I'd be like, now you are done. Now I'm pulling her out of here.
Yes. Okay, well, I want to follow this up with the next scene about how smart is Daniel, because he's there in some cafeteria with Anna Thurman. This is the daughter of the senator we met last week. Mm-hmm. And Anna wants to go check out his sister. I assume this is fine. Was Anna the person who got her in this facility? That I don't remember. But Helen shows up, and as I joked about,
well, I think it was Anna. Yeah. It was Anna or her boss.
Right. So Helen shows up, and I joked about this earlier. She is so quick to point out, wasn't a date. Like literally, Daniel's going to get back into the next episode. He's going to tell Anna, hey, I ran into that reporter out at the facility. Psh, it wasn't a date. We just ran into each other. I mean, geez, Helen. Anna and Helen are not fans of each other. Maybe this is normal that people in politics don't like reporters and vice versa, but this is ice cold because Helen is bringing receipts on this brain doc, and oh boy, oh
my God! But okay. So the part that where Anna tells Daniel he's being dumb is
yes,
she says, you gave her information and she didn't give you any information. So you know what? Maybe I changed my mind. Maybe Daniel is. I can't imagine anyone, no matter how dumb they were, that would be like, oh, you took away her memories? That's cool. No worries, bro.
It's more complicated than that. What? I mean, what's funny is I didn't know Anna was going to bust Daniel for giving away his sister's location and what was happening to her. But I actually had that exact thought. I'm like, well, you just told this reporter who you seem a bit icy with right now where your sister is and what's happened to her. And so sure enough, Helen goes to see Charlotte and she lies to get in. Now, real reporters would never do that. But I guess if you've been fired by the Post, all ethics can go out.
You're working for a sleazy internet site, Bubba.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. And so this, I think, was kind of obvious, but they made it clear. Charlotte, the sister, contacted this reporter, and for whatever reason, just like last week when you were like, why didn't she tell Daniel anything? Because of probably, her NDAs and her commitment to being a good soldier, she can't come out and say, hey, I am worried about this. But instead, she went to the reporter and said, hey, you got to look into this mission to Iran.
Well, forget the NDA. Brother. She probably just has suspicions but doesn't have any real information.
Yeah.
So she needs someone to do some digging. And, she goes to this reporter and, she suggested maybe my brother can help you, not realizing what a bonehead he is.
Is this a date? Maybe he should do that. Like have a form when he meets her each time he says, is this a date? Check yes or check no. And so one thing that is kind of tricky to take note of is they do a cut to an old man with white hair watching Helen and Charlotte talking out at the lawn there.
Right. I was like, at first I thought that was the doctor because that would make sense. And then it became clear it was not the doctor.
Right. This is a guy which, believe it or not, the sister Charlotte was trying to get away from. We saw this white-haired man on the subway platform last week, where if you watched it, it didn't necessarily look like he was following her. This is confirmation. Hey, that white guy who she saw on the subway platform and then got on the train she got on, was watching her. So Daniel and Helen show up, and do you think Daniel is starting to see Helen's point of view? I do. I think this is like, hey,
no,
what's going on?
Yeah,
it's something going on in the mountains up near to Turkmenistan. And they're trying to bust open some bunkers.
That's exactly what they are going to try to do. They were met with some oily resistance.
They were 50,000 feet oily resistance. Ask your doctor what he can do for you and your. Well, don't ask Dr. Cerveknik.
Oh my God,
not good. Sirkovich, yeah, he's bad. But ask a different doctor. So, Catfish, you're intrigued. I'll say it. I'm intrigued. And we should say, listeners, if you're somehow new to the Cleaning Podcast, both Catfish and I have read the first book in the series, but only I have read further in the series. So all the things that are happening now are past the books that Catfish would have read. So we're going to have him speculate, but then I'll speculate in a bit too. But who cares? We want to know if you guys are also fascinated and intrigued by this before time stuff.
Let's hear it, Bubba. All right. So forget the before times. Now we're in the now times.
Heck yeah!
Oh my God! And we are in the silo. Oh my God! And of course, we should have known this. That most of the cameras are down, but this one is not. Now I'm going to ask a question. And, I still have some questions left in my deeply dumb catfish questions about another person that I'm surprised they're not monitoring, but
Yes.
they are monitoring her. Camille shows up. Hey, it smells smoky in here, and she's like, okay, yeah, no, just had some pizza because that soup was for crap. But
Hey, now. Yeah.
Bubba, they know she got a note because they're watching her. The algorithm is watching all the time.
Yep.
He's not that upset about it right now. He's trying to tell her, Camille, that she's the one that needs to feed her all the information, right? This is what's nice, the dovetailing between the two stories, right?
Yes.
Is that and this episode really kind of started focusing like way more than the show has in the past on like memories and who we tell ourselves we are.
Yep. And I want to point out, Catfish, that at the end of the episode in the before times, Dr. Sirkovic is on the bed with Charlotte and he's, doing almost breathing exercises with her. And I'm pretty sure we've seen Camille doing breathing exercises like, hey, Juliette, let's breathe. Let's breathe. So boy.
Well, another thing we thought was the thing that triggered her memories was having the reporter writing on the page and then flashing to her writing notes when she was in the car with her. So
100%.
Okay, we clean that up. All right. So the 6 silos have undergone full resets.
Whoa.
Including this silo 140 years ago. She's sitting down. She's like, I got to deal with this. And you know what? It's not bad enough that the algorithm thinks it knows everything. It's going to say obvious, dumb stuff. The algorithm says your frustration is noted. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to help you, algorithm.
The algorithm should then put up a chart. So this red line is your frustration. This blue line is when it becomes a trouble. Once again, I don't think the show has really dived into it yet, but Camille is going to give the forget-me-now drugs to everybody, including her son and her husband. This can't be good. This can't be good.
Now, are you sure? Once again, we're stealing one of my deeply dumb questions.
Well, that's what I assumed.
My question was, it cannot just be one person. My question was, how many people are the ones who are not going to take it? And I would assume it's going to be more than one. You need to have a sort of guiding crew here. You can't have one person leading all this is your story and thousands of people walking around like, I don't know what's going on.
What floor is my house on? I've walked up and down.
Yeah. This is a lot of retraining. Well, I mean, the one thing we don't know, what's not clear is it feels like when it came to Kennedy saying, well, it's true. I guess Sims told me that he could make me forget about my wife. But I guess what he didn't tell him, and what seems to be the case here, unless they've adjusted the drugs any, is that you'll also forget who you are.
Right. Well, that's
so it's sort of a catch-22.
You hope that it is somehow really targeted on what you would forget. What do you think they want everybody to forget? That Juliette went outside and came back? Do they want them to forget Juliette, so therefore they can get rid of Juliette and then, quote unquote, really go back to normal?
No, I think, when you do this sounds like a very dangerous thing. The full reset.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back from. And only 6 silos have had it. So you don't assume that this is something done like willy nilly and that it's hard to come back from. So you've got to make them forget a lot.
Do you think, should Silo 18 feel proud that they seem to be the only silo that has needed it done twice?
It could be, there are certain outliers, as the algorithm says, and you know what? Silo 18 is just a fertile ground for them.
Well, let's get to Juliette, who, is having these flashes of memory. So she's not completely lost. She knows how to stand up, how to feed herself, not everything is completely lost, but
right.
She goes down to the pulley system. Shirley is still upset. And this is an interesting thought about Shirley. Your best friend just went through the most traumatic experience. They were sent out to clean. Somehow they survived, come back. They were roasted for 3 minutes, and now they don't remember you at all. I understand that hurts you a lot, but shouldn't you really be focused on your friend who has gone through all this stuff? I mean, I understand
But
Shirley's hurt.
if they don't remember you anymore, how can you even interact with them as a friend? I mean, she was sitting outside of her room for 10 days? So
Mm.
it's like interacting with a stranger. You know the things that we share, all these amazing times when you're just like, oh my God, every time I look at Catfish, I think about like all how he's made all these podcasts so great. And
Hold on. I need to take my vitamins. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I guess you're right. You're right. It's just tough. These two, when you talk about people being on Juliet's side, Walker and not even Knox, it's Walker and Shirley. Those have been like the only two people who, through everything, have been
Mhm.
on Juliet's side. And in this episode, we're going to see both of them give her some tough love. But Knox brings up Lucas Kyle, and he gives us a previously on. Hey, during the rebellion, a guy came down. He said he was Bernard Shadow, Lucas Kyle. He wanted to get down to the Digger area. And that is the second time that Juliette has heard Lucas Kyle. And so it's like coming back. Hey, it's coming back. Finally, we get the scene that I think a lot of people love, and that's Walker and Juliette playing catch up. And Walker says she didn't send the note from the previous night, so it's definitely not her. It had to have been Patrick Kennedy, as we know later. Is it interesting that Walker hasn't been reaching out? What do you think? Or is Walker doing her own version of Shirley?
I mean, it's just if I think Walker's not sure of the lay of the land, right? And so she's just kind of chilling. Plus, Walker, just because she comes out a few times, she still wants to stay in her little hut there.
To get up, she would have to take the pulley system. I mean, whoa, talk about not fun when is she 80 years old? I mean, ouch.
I don't know. Sounds fun to me. Um, and then Juliet, you know what though? You're right about those drugs. They don't change who you are essentially as a
No,
person because
no.
Juliet completely dicks over the deputy. What the F did you touch me? And then the Juliet cult mob just gang tackles him.
I'm going to
And
get
then
to this.
yeah.
You're right. There's a point later where Juliet, the drugs have not changed her to a happy go lucky person in any way. But this poor deputy, he's just doing his job. He hasn't treated you poorly at all. And just
Look,
because he's like, hey, I'm not sure you should go off on your own, you
no, no,
do
no.
dirty like this. Oh my
He did not
gosh.
say, I'm not sure you should go off on your own. He essentially tells her before this. So I'm not defending her, but
You're defending her.
he tells her that basically Camille will have my head if I do not stick to you the whole time. So look,
Oh man.
she had to do something. That was not the best choice. But nonetheless, she did it. And so then this is great too. Because she finally meets with everybody. She's with Patrick Kennedy, and basically, what this becomes is she comes in, and it's a session of like, all right, let me explain to you why I don't like you. And then the next person says, now let me explain why I don't like you. And then the third person says, I also really do not like you, but for different reasons.
Is that crazy? Now the first
So
two,
good.
the two guys, Juliet really did get them in hot water. And so, I understand that is really, really tough. But Sandy, if you remember her way back in season 1, she was a secretary at the sheriff's station. And when Juliet was the sheriff, she was like, God, you're a pain in the Juliet, you're such a pain in the rear. I just dislike you. And she's still holding on to that grudge. I loved it.
So good. All right, so as you said, we got a previously on, so we don't really need to cover it. Except now they know they've got a helmet with
Yep.
a different silo number on it,
Yep.
so that is cool.
And they
Mhm.
told Juliet, like the one thing they told Juliet, which is good for her story, to get her story really moving, is don't take the drugs. Are people giving you a lot of care? Don't do it. And at the end of the episode, we see she doesn't take the vitamins, thank goodness. But of course, we'll mention Nurse Amy and her evil forced entry into the mayor's suite in a bit. Boy, love it, love it, love it.
Right. So then one of the Juliet's stands. What should we ever? What should we call them? We've got the Bayhive. I don't know what we should call them, but we should think of something. The Juliettas, whatever.
Yes.
Listeners, come up with a good name for this group of people who are super fans of Juliette. So this super fan was worried, pointed it out. Of course, Juliette is still there, but the outsiders have gotten away through their tunnel. And Camille's
work,
like,
outsiders.
look, there can't be secrets. And then the super fan, this is
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sure what you
Oh,
were
boy.
referring to,
Yeah.
because she's like, oh, I got this tattoo. What does
Remember,
it mean? And
yeah, Juliet's like, do you know what it means?
And Juliet's like, I don't. So you got marks on your arm that don't mean anything.
God, why is she so mean? Is she so antisocial? It's okay. You don't like crowds, and maybe you really don't want people trying to mimic you in your tattoos, but just to slight them so bad. Holy smokes.
Oh my God.
Folks,
Now, Bubba,
I thought the fan had a great comeback about, hey, you came back to save us. So you may not know what it means. You may dislike that I have it, but I'm going to honor that moment. So I hope
that's completely true. People were about to go out into the world and find out that it was not good. Oh, and Bubba, there we go. Then we have her guide,
the deputy,
her helper. The deputy says, I honor this badge and my wife.
Yeah,
so this
Catfish,
is good to know.
You did it even quicker than he did. He had the biggest dramatic pause. It was like he forgot about it. Hey, I would never touch a woman. I honor this badge. 5 minutes later. Oh yeah, and my wife.
So anyway, now just completely contrasting what he said earlier, that he had to stick with Juliette or Camille was going to get him in trouble. He says, look, let me know. I don't want to be gang tackled by the Julietas anymore. All right, so she knows not to take the pills. She's back at her house. Nurse Amy gives her the vitamins.
Yes, Nurse Amy, get her. But Juliette then leaves, and Nurse Amy sneaks back into the apartment, and she's like, "Where would she have taken that drug?" Oh,
no, Bubba, this was previously
evil Nurse Amy.
This was previously a catfish question until I figured it out. She has got to have a video.
Yep.
Okay, otherwise you don't go. I'm going in. I go right to the sink. I know she's done something wrong. So I presume she's using the video, and this is part of that I find interesting. Juliette's going to have to do all this with everybody watching her. Holy cow! So Juliette then goes to the cafeteria and she tries to recreate the star pattern that Lucas Kyle showed her in season 1.
Oh, that's the Juliette I like. Come on, be smart and don't suddenly turn to this deputy and say, "Hey, did you touch me? Get her, Swifties." I mean, Juliette's, Siloes. I mean, this is crazy.
Now, then we have Camille reporting to the algorithm.
Yep.
All right, and this is what you always want to hear someone say about you. After her return, Juliette's survival was unwelcome. But the numbers indicate it was tolerable. Now he's got a chart. This is a very interesting, very interesting. You've got to figure it out, right? Because she's back and people think that they saved her. There's this happiness, but there's also unrest being caused.
Yep.
So he's like at a certain point, but now the algorithm sort of contradicts himself, right? Because he says if we pass a certain point, then we need to get rid of Juliette. But then that will also cause more problems. So
you've gotta get so much forget me now in the water supply. This isn't even funny. I mean, everybody's going to have soup because soup contains a lot of water. Let's go.
Now, I didn't understand why at this point they're like, it was not clear to me, and maybe I missed something where he's like, so that means we're like going into plan Z, which is forget me not right away.
Wow. Well, he must have been planning this ahead of time because on last week's episode, Orla Kent was pulling out that vitamin D plus. Vitamin D plus forget me drugs. Whoa. So I think this was always their plan. I think maybe his thought is we got to get this out even quicker. It's got to happen even quicker. Holy smokes. Mm.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I didn't, and maybe I wasn't listening closely enough. For him, if what the algorithm was saying was, okay, if we cross this line, we got trouble, we got to get rid of her, but then it's going to go up even more. So let's go. We gotta do the forget me not.
No.
Is that the way that it went down?
I don't think so. I think it was we've got to triple or whatever Juliette's dosage, and we got to get this going now. Like we got to get people on a liquid diet of yummy what? Yummy. Wait, what? What is it? What did boy? I'm really thirsty. Yet I could have sworn I just had a glass of water. I don't remember. Did I? I don't know. Man.
Now here's something that we find out, Bubba.
Okay.
Billings walks in and his wife is wrapping her arm. Ruh-roh.
I told you.
Ruh-roh.
Yep.
Yeah. And so she is one of the outsiders. And you mentioned it earlier, Bubba, but it is really worth noting. It's interesting here is that the people we hate are trying to save people from dying, and the people we like are like, let's go out there and die.
Yeah, fun setup. I just wish there was more urgency and tension in these storylines. I'm positive it'll get there. So I know I'm real tough on this episode, but I do believe the season's going to get there. But yeah, this is fun things they've created. And so if you're Billings, you and your wife have been a great partnership. She knows you've had the syndrome or have this syndrome. Like she's helped you with that. She's been great in a lot of things. But now, it is not good. You do not want your wife to be part of the outsiders. Not good.
And are they just trying to calm people down, or are they really rewriting some of the pact? I would guess they're not rewriting the pact.
Well, he knew it by heart. Imagine you spent your whole life dedicated to this book. You realize it's a fraud, and then they tell you, hey, rewrite it so it's less of a fraud. I mean, Billings always has it tough. I'll give them that. That once again, they are creating interesting setups. I'm not sure they're right now through 2 episodes giving us the greatest dramatic stakes because of these setups, but not fun.
All right, Bubba.
What would you rewrite in the pack? All elevators all the time?
All elevators all the time. Pulleys, bungee jumps.
Hell yeah.
All right, Bubba, it is time for the double S.
Double S?
Yeah, the Silo Slam of the week.
Oh.
I couldn't find many last week, but I had some good ones.
Yeah, this episode may have been all Silo Slam. So let's hear them.
All right. So the very first one we have is the reporter. What's her name talking about the reporter?
Anna just totally dissing Helen.
Anna said she's at some online sleaze factory now.
Hey, are they hiring? Are they hiring? What are the benefits?
Basically, all of Walker's.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, Bubba, if they are backhanded compliments or forehanded disses, but stubbornness and pigheadedness were mentioned at least 3 times each.
Right.
And then at the end, we have this. Juliette says, I don't know what to do. And Walker says, try harder.
Ba-boom. Ice cold. Ouch.
And then Mayor Juliette, to one of her biggest fans, I guess you just got marks on your body that don't mean anything.
Dang. Hello. I need your vote. 4 more years.
Bubba, what's your pick for the Silo Slam of the week?
I think it was done out of love, and maybe this is the first slam I'm giving something for love, but all of Walker's just totally ripping Juliette down to shreds. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Walker.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I just don't think Walker's like, I'll be here all week. Listen, if you don't want me to talk about you, don't sit in the front row.
Okay, Catfish, let's get to some double S.
Double S.
Silo speculation.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned that you have not read the last couple of books in the series, and I want to say that a bunch of storylines are not directly from the book, so I want to add some too. So the first one, He's not from the books. This isn't a character on the books. But what do you think happened to Orla Kent, this young 26-year-old, younger than Boots supply person? What do you think? Where is Orla Kent?
Bubba, I don't mean this to be an ass to you, but
Okay.
I'm just going to be an ass here.
Let's hear
Who
it.
gives a crap? We only met her last week. At least let her be around for 2 or 3 weeks so we can care about her. I don't care what happened to Orla Kent.
Well, I am making speculation. Again, I've read the
Okay,
books, but
do
this is not, from what I can tell, anything to do with the books. So
Thank God.
last week I said, boy, Orla's boyfriend is really kind of creepy. And they gave her a dog. So you want to make villains bad? That boyfriend has Orla Kent. He's killed the dog. That is my guess. But
No, horrible. Horrible. No one will
what's
watch
that
the show
website?
after
What's that website about? Does the dog live? Is that
That's doesthedogdie.com.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Listeners, join in on Silo speculation. We know that this isn't from the book, so everybody can do it. And so here's a question, Catfish.
Yeah.
So we've only seen them pulling the vitamin D plus forget me now drugs up the stairwell. Is that stuff going to get in the water supply? Yes or no? What do you think?
I say no. And I think that this is a
How are they going to stop it?
This
Who's
is a
going to stop it?
this is a red level threat right here. We got to not get this in the water.
I agree with you. It is a red level relic type threat. But my question is, nobody other than the bad guys, or specifically Camille, really, Camille and the algorithm are the only two things that know that there's forget me now drugs in this vitamin D. So I think it's going in. I think the challenge is going to be, what are you going to tell everybody? You can't drink the water. Oh my God, this is going to put the silo really at edge. If somehow the heroes are like, okay, everybody.
Well, who knows? Nobody knows. I mean, Patrick, who's even going to know? As far as Patrick Kennedy is concerned, and as far as Juliette is concerned, this is stuff they get in pills, not stuff in the water. I don't even know who would know.
Is it possible that Lucas Kyle might know, because Lucas Kyle knows about the what is it? They call it the contingency plan, or the plan to ixnay the silo. Perhaps he could figure it out and he could stop it, since nobody knows where he is.
I'm sure Orla Kent will do it.
Ouch, how painful, Catfish. How good.
All right, Bubba, come on now. Let's get into the judicial debate.
All right,
you asked a great question last week. We cover very many Apple TV shows: Silo, Severance, Slow Horses, Pluribus, and Widow's Bay, Widow's Bay got a lot of Emmy nominations, especially for your girl, Bubba. Oh my goodness.
Patricia, she's right up there with Evil Nurse Amy and Reporter Helen.
All right, and Bubba, we did get some feedback on this. Always on YouTube said, yes, Bubba and Catfish are back for the cleaning pod. This is their judicial debate answers. I think I would like to forget Sims every time.
Oh, that was our debate last week about Sims out. Or what would you like to forget? And this always on YouTube's pick Slim Sims. How hurt.
All right, and then their choice was they only picked between their top two.
Oh,
they said, I still think Severance is the best Apple TV show, but Silo is next best, and said, this is Sci-fi from Blue Sky.
Hey, all right. Great feedback, listeners. We love your feedback. Go down, if you haven't given us answers on this judicial debate yet, go down in the comments on YouTube and tell us. I'd love to hear it. So, Catfish, you've been going first this whole time, so you get to go first again. Of the shows that we podcast about, which are on Apple TV, what's the best? What's your order?
I like things a little bit funky, and interesting.
All right,
and bizarre, maybe. So I'm go with Severance number 1.
Whoa, that's just what Sayali did. Yeah, okay.
Widow's Bay number 2.
Oh, that's the new show. Wow, okay.
Yes, Slow Horses 3.
Wait, where's Silo? We're already 3, and you haven't picked Silo yet. Okay,
number 4 is Pluribus.
That got a lot of Emmy love too. Okay.
Number 5 is Platonic.
What? Wait, is that a show? We don't podcast on Platonic.
Oh, no. You're right. But basically, I couldn't figure out how I could put Silo lower without putting a show that we don't even podcast about it. No.
Whoa, Catfish, you just gave this episode 9.5 out of 10. What's going on here?
I would just say these are great shows.
That is very true.
These are all great shows.
100%.
So I'm just going to put Silo at the bottom just because Silo, you can't spell the word slow SLO without Silo.
Hurtful. Ow, that is brutal, Catfish. But Severance, I mean, these are all great shows. So when we say it's at the bottom, it means it's still a great show. It's just other great shows appeal to you a bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
And I felt Slow Horses is so good. It's so funny, but it's also kind of a procedural.
Yes.
And so that's why I docked it, because the rest of these shows, they got a funky twist to them. And so that's my jam, funky twists.
Okay.
So
all right.
it's all right if you're more traditional and you don't like interesting things and you put Slow Horses higher. So okay, Bubba, what's your list?
I am going to go Widow's Bay 1. Now, I'm trying to list this by what I would call the fun factor. The fun factor.
Okay.
If you listen to our Widow's Bay podcast, my ratings kind of did a yo-yo on, some were high, some were low.
Sure did.
But I never thought the low was that low. And the highs, I thought, were some of the highest highs of any of these shows. So I did put Widow's Bay 1, mainly because I don't think it ever went below a certain level of, man, that's still good. I put Slow Horses 2, Catfish, in your face, mainly because the episodes are so they're digestible. They're short. You were saying, oh, it's procedural, boring. I think they're digestible, so that makes the episode, and the seasons are short, right? Only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I think that the form factor does matter. So even though I think other shows have greater highs, I think in Slow Horses, the form factor is really good. I put Severance 3. Now, that's a shock to a lot of people because when Severance hits highs, its highs are through the moon.
Absolutely.
But there are certain characters who, Catfish, you gave terrible ratings to. Remember the Patricia Arquette episode where she went out to... Anyway, you've been tough on that show, but I am putting it at 3. I'm putting Silo at 4. Silo... Again, the form factor is probably why this is here, at least in season 2. And I'm getting this vibe from season 3, that it's this slow climb up.
Okay, got it.
And then we hit the highs, at the end of the season, which is incredible. And season 2 ended incredible. Season 1, great final episode. But season 1 had some good stuff in the beginning. It was the middle of season 1 that had some trouble.
Okay.
So because Silo just has this pattern where they do love to save all the climactic, earth-shattering, paradigm-shifting stuff till the end. That's why I put it here. And I put Pluribus at the bottom. I think Pluribus has never hit the highs of any of the shows above it. And I think Pluribus, sadly, even though, once again, these are all really good, great shows, I think Pluribus's floor has been the lowest. So that's my rating.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Like I said, this is tough. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. All right, Bubba, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Double D's, Double K's.
Everyone's?
Yeah, the deeply dumb catfish questions.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you're right. Everybody loves this. I've just taken 12 packs of vitamins. Let's hear these questions, Catfish. You say you're deeply dumb, but you loved this episode. You've just rated this series pretty high.
All right. We already covered 2 of them. One of them, I had to express it earlier, how incredible it was, and that means non-credible, not great. The other version of incredible, non-credible, that Daniel would be cool with what's happening with his sister.
Man.
Okay? Anyway.
How about this? Hold on. His sister just set him up on what he thought was a date, and it wasn't a date, and it really hurt his feelings. And so he's like, I'm going to wipe your damn mind.
Scorched earth. All right, Bubba, here we go. When the Judicial Raiders found the tunnel that Kennedy escaped through, why did they just stand there? You know that this just happened. Why not keep racing through the tunnel? The woman just stands there like, oh, great tunnel. I can't do tunnel.
You know, the one thing she wasn't good at? Stairs. Oh, wait, she's in the silo. How about this? Just because your friend races off and jumps off the pier, are you going to jump off the pier?
They've been looking for Kennedy forever. There's the tunnel. Run down the tunnel after him.
Did you want her to go solo down the tunnel?
There was a bunch of other people behind her. Go down that damn tunnel. No, it's a tunnel. They've outfoxed us.
No. What about her? She just had her required 15-minute break, and so she has to wait. Catfish, come on.
Got it. I mean, these union rules are really messing with stuff here. All right. Deeply dumb question number 2.
Yeah.
Why aren't they watching the sheriff's department?
They were, and then it just got real boring.
I mean, you should have anyone who is in charge, who's in any position of authority, needs to be watched. And let me tell you something. They would learn something really fascinating if they were watching his apartment.
How about this? When Sims last week, when he was giving his speech, most of the cameras have been taken down. In fact, we pulled many cameras out and put them in the mayor's apartment. There is 1 inch of the mayor's apartment we don't cover. Now we don't watch anybody else, but we watch Mayor Juliette. Catfish, I got no idea. Sims, remember, the algorithm picked Billings, excuse me. The algorithm picked Billings. So does the algorithm naturally think, because of my over 300 years of data, I don't have to pay attention to Sims? Is that it?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
All right, now here we go. Here's the last one. I brought it up already, but now I'm going to make you answer this because I'm going to make you think about it, okay?
Sure.
How many people don't take the drugs during the reset so that they can steer the silo? It cannot be one person, Bubba.
No. Okay, well, everybody's going to get a little bit in their water supply, and so maybe what you would call the people who are the heads of departments. You know how everybody has a head and then a shadow?
Yeah.
So all the heads only get it in their water supply, so they can still do their tasks and train their shadows. The shadows get it all, so they have to be reshadowed from scratch. I mean, you've got to reset the silo. So everybody has to get it, except, of course, the head of IT, and maybe if the head of IT has a shadow. Everybody
I think you can't. Yeah, you're right. The heads of everybody need to not be reset, and then there are problems, you bump them off because you need to have that institutional knowledge. Look,
100%.
Who is the only person who is able to make sure the silo didn't blow up? Juliette.
Yeah. How about this?
All right, Bubba.
How about this? You just put Juliette back into a coma. It's like, hey, if she keeps living, it can reach the point where the blue line and the red line are underwater. Put her in a coma. Just do something with her. Whatever. Like, oops, she fell down the stairs and now she's in the hospital bed for the next, month. Do something.
Whoops. We're going to send her to the special clinic. All right, Bubba. And we're always talking about this, and now we're putting our money where our mouth is. This is the feedback we have from loyal listeners. So here's some general feedback.
Okay.
Jim Rodney says, just super happy shows are starting up. I really enjoy watching that you also cover.
Oh.
Not a horror fan, so skip shows like From and even Widow's Bay, but looking forward to the rest of summer now and all the Double P media podcasts that will follow. Oh, man, you should watch Widow's Bay. Unlike The Bear, Widow's Bay can reasonably be put in the comedy category. It's pretty funny. There are some scary parts. If you're a super chicken, maybe you don't want to, but it's very funny. So now, Bubba, as requested, we got some feedback already on episode 2. Wayne Rogers.
Yeah, Wayne wrote, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how you suppress the memories of 10,000 people and still have a functioning silo. Wayne is writing what your question was. In an effort to block the populace's memory of Juliette, won't you also cause people to forget their own personal stories? Everybody begins to forget about Juliette, but they still know how to do their job, where to live, who their loved ones are. The whole idea of resetting the memories of an entire silo has stretched my willingness to suspend my disbelief for the sake of the story. This is real weak storytelling. Oh, no. Wayne is not happy with this thing that you're pointing out, Catfish.
Well, Wayne, I mean, we're going to have to see, we have the experience of Juliette, who's taking it in strong pill form, and we have it in the past where it's presumably feeding a lot to it. Is there another formulation that, as Bubba says, just hits some spots and not others? And so
forget me now in a powder.
Yeah.
Now in a gummy.
All right. Oh, Bubba.
Oh, boy. We have so much feedback.
We went in hard on Sims last week and Common, and we've got both for and against. So thank God. Wani Madras H says, something I've been wondering. Is a Sims kid going to keep quiet about everything he saw in the vault?
Yeah, when he goes to school, is Sims Jr. just going to be, what'd you do over break? Well, I saw somebody who gave my mom a promotion, kicked my dad and me out, and controls all of us. Otherwise, I got pizza. Yay!
They didn't burn it. At Orlando John says, Robert Sims states it took 6 hours to carry the body down to the bottom. But how? When that was around the same time the stairs blew up.
Well, he took Bernard's body down about 5 hours, then dropped it 2 flights of stairs.
Hey, there you go.
SN wrote, so glad to be back watching Silo with you guys. Oh, thank you so much, SN. Side note, I think they sent Common to some acting classes between seasons because he wasn't half bad. There you go. Pro Common acting. Thank you, SN.
Excellent. Vicky at Vicky Torias at Blue Sky says, so happy to see you both back for the wraps up of Silo. Great impression of Sims. Hilarious and right on the mark.
When Bernard hit you with my fists, that was against the pack. But now you'll enjoy my fist. Wait, what?
All right. So we did have some positive feedback about Common in this season. Yeah. So now we've got Katisha G saying, I don't know, Common's acting actually seems to have gotten worse since last season. Oh, no. And Ask Jeeves says Common is not a good actor. He's good as the cool guy with a few lines, but he has no range.
Ouch. Ask Jeeves. How could you? Let's find out what Google thinks. Okay. Hey, all guys, right. Let's switch up the feedback.
I don't know how many people will know that joke.
I hope not.
All right, so Bubba, I was very down on the amnesia.
You were tough last week.
Super down on it. Bubba, I wasn't the only one. Let's read some feedback. Rad Hardtech says, great show, but not a big fan of the amnesia tropes.
A great listener, Shirley, said, maybe I will wait and binge the whole season. Thanks for the idea, Catfish. I didn't like the amnesia thing at all. I can't believe I defended the slowness of season 2. Wow.
The Leonard 16 gave its episode 3 out of 10 for episode 1. Whoa. I waited a very long time for answers, and now she's got amnesia. Not happy. I want answers.
Greg Bergen said Silo equals side quests.
Oh my goodness. Now, Cars Surfer was very upset. He said, looked like this will drag out for a good 5 seasons, considering the pace of this. I am new here, and when 2 grown men call each other Catfish and Bubba, this just made my Monday.
Thank you so much, Car Surfer. We're glad. Craig.
Now look, no, hold on, but let's try and soothe Car Surfer.
Yeah.
Bubba, how many seasons are we set for this show?
It's guaranteed for 4 seasons, 10 episodes each. So there are 18 episodes left.
Okay. But is a possibility there's going to be a fifth season? Because I want to let Car Surfer know.
No,
you've only got less than 2 seasons left. All right. Craig Francis Johnson said, I have struggled with the slow pacing of Silo generally, but I enjoyed this and I don't think it'll last long. Good start for season 3. Heart.
Oh, heck yeah. MK Regular said, I really hope the entire season is not Juliette trying to recover her memory. Ouch.
1D4 ever says, I liked episode. I was okay with Amnesia as long as it's gone by episode 3. That's Bubba. That's when you said it would be gone.
Oh,
I'm
please.
hoping Lucas sent the note to Juliette so he can rejoin the fun.
I think that is a good speculation, 1D Forever, who also gives great feedback. Another loyal listener, CamShay23, said, I agree with you guys about this episode. It was slow, and I don't like memory loss storylines. I'm intrigued by the flashbacks. Hey, and that cloud that the sister flew into. I forgot that if it was in the book or not, I don't remember. If you are listening to the audio podcast, we're going to have our spoiler section at the end of this audio podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, the spoiler section will be a different video released a couple days after this video drops. Thank you, CamShay23.
All right, and at ibarf 24 says, even with the memory loss, human instinct is very powerful. Specifically, such experienced and strong-willed person like Jules. Yeah. Being made to take a strict regimen of vitamins for 3 months already should have triggered alarm bells in her head long ago, especially with her having access to high-level people and information.
This is a future world. We don't really know how powerful these drugs are. So even somebody with the unique personality and strong-willed as Juliette, I can see it happening. Dogs in the Yard gave us this feedback, who said, I love your reviews. So glad to go through this season of Silo with you guys. Oh, thank you so much.
Love it.
They said, I believe Catfish's rating will go higher as the season progresses. And
look at that. Episode 2. That was it. Right through it. At Nick Blood said, they mentioned Daniel's drills because he's obviously going to be the guy who they use his drill tech to make the silos.
Yes.
My uncle and I flip each other the bird all the time for fun. Whoever wrote how they do it in the show got it wrong. Her jabs at her bro were weird.
Well, you know what? She's under a lot of stress. She's doing Iran attacks at night. So who knows? Another Mike 22 thought season 3, episode 1 was a great episode. Not sure what you were expecting, but the episode was outstanding. Wanting to see more of a character and not getting what you want isn't a knock on the episode. It's a knock on your ability to rate an episode in a mature way. Ooh. I was really hoping this hour of discussion would be better. I'm tuning out after the first few minutes. Out.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, it lasts longer than most of our listeners.
Thank you, another Mike. What I would say is your line about wanting to see more of a character and not getting what you want isn't a knock on the episode. Another Mike, what I would say is that if we want to see more of a character and we don't, that is, while we're not saying it, what we're saying is that the rest of the episode we didn't find compelling enough to make up for this character not being in it. And so I think it is a way to discuss an episode. Maybe you want us to be less silly, but the idea of this podcast is we're your friend. We watch the episode and we talk about it with you after the episode, and then you give us your feedback. So you're a part of the conversation. So,
I mean, this episode proves that a character can be missing and it makes it better.
Poor Sims, taking shots.
All right. Hugh Carrock said, when the show premiered, I discovered it was based on books. I've been enjoying the show so much, but I'm holding off on reading the books for now because once the show ends, I will enjoy that story as well.
Heck yeah. A great listener, the Nathan Geck wrote, I rarely find myself agreeing with Catfish.
Yes.
And then they wrote, sorry, but his 6 out of 10 rating and rant are spot on. The show nearly lost
even a blind squirrel.
Wow. They continue. The show nearly lost me in season 2. So to body slam us in season 3 with this medically induced amnesia storyline is frustrating. I'll have to stop watching week to week and binge the show if they plan on milking this through the end of the season. Ouch. Whoa.
Now, since he doesn't usually agree with me, or they don't usually agree with me, I would say to the Nathan Geck, let us know. Yeah. Was episode 2 exciting enough for you to say, all right, I'll keep watching week to week, or are you going to binge it? Let us know.
100%. Yeah.
All right. And Dr. Deb 2005 says, great to see you all again. Double P, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Season 3, episode 1 of Silo, however, much anticipated and yet highly disappointing.
Oh, no.
I've not read the books, so this is from a viewer's only perspective. This felt to me like trope after lazy eye-rolling trope. When the episode ended, I was like, oh boy, not good. Ouch. The amnesia was bad enough, but when what the writers seemingly intended to be the huge reveal of the episode, amnesia induced by drugs, was blatantly obvious from the opening scene, I admit I lost a bit of faith.
Dr. Deb, let us know if you're back on track with episode 2. Our last bit of feedback that we're going to be able to read in this podcast is from a great listener who always gives us great stuff. It's Wild Marjoram Dieselpunk. They wrote, I binged all the episodes for the first time because I was doing a recap with theories over at Sci-Fi Vision on Monday nights. Hey, my first thought, since I knew nothing about this show, is that, Rashida Jones is in Silo. I want to watch it. Hooray, I love her Parks and Rec. She's got to be the main character, right? Around episode 3, I realized she wasn't even coming back in a flashback. She was no longer living. Nope. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. I assume if you binged all these episodes, though, that you are addicted to Silo, and hopefully you're going to join us on this great season 3.
Bubba, next week, we have episode 3, A Dark Web. Ooh. Juliette takes control of her recovery process. Helen suffers the consequences of her investigation. Listen, I am Catfish. You can hit me up at G to the man. That's GEETOTHEMAN on Instagram and Blue Sky.
My name's Bubba. You can find me on all social media with the handle Fit and Trim. That's FITTENTRIM at Fit and Trim on social media.
And we'll talk to you next week on The Cleaning of Your Brain.
Doctor, what's going on with my sister? Well, I've taken away all of her memories. Oh, that's terrible. But the good news is, if I forget to put them back in, she'll never remember anything. Oh, that's terrible. I've also taken one of her kidneys and given that to somebody else. Wait, what? Yeah, and you'll notice she always sitting down because somebody needed new knees. Wait, what? What are you doing?